Hi, I'm Ina Calder. I am the IN in the InDe'B quilt shop. There's three of us in this quilt shop together, three friends who wanted to just have a lot of fun and quilts and teach you and show you the tips, tricks, and things that you can do and be as excited as we are about quilting. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to do this quilt that I have here behind me. Okay, and believe it or not, that's the same quilt almost. Okay. It's made with the same exact ruler in the same exact shape. This one has just added a border around the star, okay? So isn't that amazing how you can get both of those kind of quilt shapes out of this same ruler? All kind of things. So this is the Night Sky quilt by JAYBIRD Quilts. I won't be giving you the sizes or measurements or anything, but you do need to use her sidekick ruler, okay? And you can see that a little bit better, her sidekick ruler, and she has on here, it makes diamonds, it makes triangles, and it makes right squared triangles. It's been a long time since I've been in geometry class. But with that, she's able to do all kinds of just amazing things, okay? So in the kit that we have for you, you will get all of these colors that you can see here. There is currently only one blue block that I have here because I'm going to use the other half of those blue blocks to show you how to do these blue blocks. But you can see that these are the same fabrics. We just have a darker circle, a darker star in the middle, and this one is a lighter star in the middle. Same thing with this, darker star, lighter star, and lighter star, darker star, okay? The fun thing with this is that even if you get our kit, with the kit, if you don't maybe want to put maybe all of these in the same combinations that we put in, you can do your own. Like maybe you want to do red stars, but you want to have green backgrounds. And they can be even the same color here, or they can be different colors. There's just a lot of variety and change that you can, that you can do with this quilt. So it's a lot of fun. There are other rulers out on the market that try to sell themselves as the knockoff ruler or whatever. But you want to make sure that you get the one that says Sidekick, designed by Julie Herman, JAYBIRD Quilts. Because these quilts have exact measurements so that all these pieces will fit together in the right way. And if you get the wrong ruler, then her directions are not going to work with your ruler. Okay, so it really is important. We do have some of these in the shop, so check that out. Okay. So let's talk about some things in preparation. The first one is this quilt is done at angles. This is the only straight stitch in the whole quilt, is that one right there, okay? All the rest of them are on the diagonal, and so they're on a bias stretch. So one of the first things you want to do is you want to really starch your fabric. I just take a couple of dish towels, I lay them out, I put my fat quarters on there, and I just spray them with whatever spray starch you like and use. And just do them so that they're pretty stiff. Like, if you looked at this, it's pretty stiff fabric. It's not, doesn't have a whole lot of flow. That's going to help you get really great points. It's going to help you not have a lot of fraying. And it's also going to help you so that you don't have any stretch on that bias as you put these together, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to do some cutting on this. And the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna start with some diamond cutting. So you need to have your fabrics. I like to take whatever two colors I'm going to use for the diamonds. I'd like to put them together, both of them face up, okay? So I'm going to turn this down so you can see. So don't mind my camera. I'm doing a lone man job today. So here we go. Okay, I think you can all see that pretty good. So here I have my fabrics. I've lined them up, and again, they're both facing up. If I don't have, like if I have this straight edge here, what I would do is I would take this, I put it on, I go as close as I can to that edge there. And then I'm just going to take a rotary cutter and I'm going to cut off that edge, okay? Then what I want is this diamond shape. So I need to turn it, and you can use it in all different directions to get the shape that you want. Sorry, it takes me half a minute when I first start this to get everything right. But you can see that if I can do this and you can do this, you can do it. So there, I've lined it up. I found my diamond shape. So this is the I don't have an extra one here to show you. So I'm gonna just take this and I'm gonna cut. And once I get that going, I can just slide this back. I can do the next one. And then I can just cut the next one and have it there. You will need, if you're doing the double sides, you're going to need, there's 5 blocks of each of these. So in each of these, there's like 5 blocks. So you have here, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's the 5th one up there. So what you want to do is you want to have, you'll notice that these are darker centers, lighter centers. So she has 2 light centers and she has 3 that are, or I think 3 light centers and 2 dark centers. So if I were going to do the light centers, I know I'm doing 3 of them. I know I need to have 9 triangle diamonds cut of every single color in the middle, okay? So 9 of each of these. And then for these little points here, I need to have, you'll see how on each diamond, there's 1 on each side there, okay? And so you want to have 1 of each color of the diamonds or the right square triangles for each of these, okay? So this is my, I don't think I have 2, no. Okay, this is my fabric and I'm cutting my right triangles. You'll notice that as you look at this, there is a right triangle right there and there's a right triangle right there, and you will use both sides of them. To begin with, I'm going to flip it over and use this side here, and I'm going to just line it up with those lines, and I'm going to cut. And when you're doing these, your fabrics are wrong sides together, okay? So different than the diamonds. The diamonds were stacked right on top of each other. But now that we're doing this one, we need to have, because we want both of those colors, we need to have a mirror image. And so to do that, you need to put the wrong sides together so that you can get the pieces that you need, okay? And then you're gonna cut that. And then all you do is you flip around and you use the other side. So I used this side just now to cut, and now I'm gonna flip it around to this side. And I'm going to place this on here, just line it up with that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and cut, okay? So now I have all of these, and all my dark ones are going to be facing the same direction. Actually, that's my lighter ones because these are my darker ones. And my darker ones will all face the other way. And then I need to do the same thing. I need to pull out some black fabric, do the same strips, and do the same cuts so that I have 2 of them. You know, so you're gonna put the fabrics facing each other, even on the black, so that you can do the right triangle and get that cut, okay? All right, so once you've got everything cut out, then you're gonna sew, okay? And when you sew, I start by sewing from the big end to the little end. And I'm just gonna match those. When I get done, I'm going to press the seams open. And that's per her directions. It is to press all the seams open. And the reason you wanna do that is if you don't, when you're doing something like this that has so many different angles to it, you will not get good results. You will have little big bumps in the middle of your quilts where all of those came together. So you wanna make sure that you do press them open, all flat. So I've got that all set up. And when I get ready to do my diamonds, I'm just going to stack them all up. And I'm gonna start with the black end of this triangle down at this point right here. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just match my black triangle right there with that black triangle, put it here, and then I just sew them through my machine. I don't even pin these. They just go right in, and I just piece them, and I do them all the time until I have done all of those on the same one. Now, I will have like a stack of these here, and I will have a stack of my, where's the triangles I cut? My triangles right here, and I'm just gonna pick them up, and I'm gonna turn them over. I'm gonna line that up like this, and I'm gonna piece through it. Then I'm gonna pick the next one up, stick it in to do that. When I get done with this side, this is what it looks like when you get done, okay? And now you're ready to sew on the next one, okay? So just remember that your blacks are gonna meet down here at the bottom. So here is the same one like this, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this around. So I have them all stacked together like that, and I put my triangles like this. So I have a stack of triangles right there just like that. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it so that the point here matches the point there. I just put it in and I just sew it, okay? So far there's no seams to match, there's nothing to do other than to match where that black point is at, this one, put it in and sew it, okay? And I just chain piece all of those in. When I get done with that, I have a whole set of blocks like this, okay? And they're all pressed open just like that. So they should all look like this at the back. So now it's time to sew these together. So what you want to do is you want to have them go every other one. And I usually sew them together in pairs like this. And then I make sure I have 2 at least left over of these, okay? So after sewing my pairs together, then I'm going to come along and I'm going to say, okay, this one needs a lighter one on the outside. This one I'm going to put the darker one on the outside. And there I have my block and it's ready to go. Let me show you how I pin these together when I'm sewing just the 2 of them together, okay? And it doesn't matter if you sew them together like this or if you sew them together like that. It doesn't matter because afterwards you're going to come and add the next block on whichever side it's supposed to go on, okay? We'll use those again in a minute. So when I get ready to pin these, I'm going to start down here on this end. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up. I'm going to pull this part down. I'm going to say, okay, are those all lined up? I'm going to shimmy them till they are. When they're all lined up, then I'm going to put a pin in right here. Okay. This one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold it like this, upright like this. I'm going to say, did those match? You know, if they don't, like if they are like off, I'm going to shimmy them till they are right there together, all the way up, hold it together. Then I'm going to take another pin and pin those parts together, okay? And then just for good measure, I usually put a pin just down here, so it just holds everything in place. So this is all ready for me to put in my sewing machine and sew. So this one, that's all I'm going to do is I'm going to just, again, sew down. There's nothing to do but to make sure that I'm doing a scant 1/4 inch all the way down through. So a scant 1/4 inch on this one is one that is just barely like a thread in from a 1/4 inch, from a full 1/4 inch. So there you have that. When you get done, it's going to look like this, okay? And you can give yourself a good pat on the back if those 2 points match and these 2 points match. Then you did it right, okay? And if you pin it, like I said, it goes together just really great, okay? Again, you're going to press all of your seams open. And that's when you're going to come and you're going to say, okay, I need to add the second one. So you're going to add the second one, put them together. And again, I start with this point up here and I am going to match these edges. I'm going to make sure they're lined up. I'm going to take a pin. I'm going to, again, pin it again here. I'm going to check this. I'm going to check, not together. Let's move it over. Okay, that looks really good. Because you don't have any blocks that you're like nesting because you haven't pressed to the right side. You've pressed open. So that's a really important thing to do. And then this one, you're going to just make sure that that point matches this point up here. Just a straight edge. And it's okay if one is a little bit longer than the other one. No worries whatsoever. Okay? And then you sew down there. When you get done, here is your block. Okay? And it's just really fun. When they start coming together, you're just like, oh my gosh, look at that. I love the colors. Again, you're pressing all the seams open for that. Here's another tip too on these seams. Most quilts are default. They go to like a 3.0 or 2.5. Okay? I always sew my quilts on at least a 2.0. Okay? Or a 1.8. And on your machine, that might be, an 18 or a 220 or whatever. I'm not sure how all the machines go, but on mine, I know that's how you do. So if I was worried about these coming apart, I would do a 1.8. Just know it's a little harder to pick out a 1.8 than it is a 2.0. But you're gonna get really great, fine points that are there. Then the last thing to do is to add your border. You're gonna add the top border up here first. I take the piece that goes on there, I fold it in half, just finger press it. I line that up with this and I put it out here and then I sew it on. And so you can see that this is, show you with this one. Okay, so this is what you're gonna get. you're gonna get this one here that you sew. And I think I had her cut it off, so anyway, the reason you want to do that too is because then you're going to go and you're going to take your ruler and you're going to line it up on the edge here, and you're going to cut off the excess that's on here, and then you're going to add on this side. Now when you add the side on, there's a trick to what you want to do, okay? And that is, you want to line up the inside piece with the top of the, right here, with the top of that other piece that you just put on, okay? This one I do like to pin, but I'm going to sew it from the other side, okay? And so I would look at this and see, is the top of my strip right there, and my line up on the side, put a pin in to get me started, okay? And then I usually kind of pin down here just because you get, you know, you're working with a lot of different things. It's a longer piece. Sometimes an extra pin helps with that. And then you want to sew. And when you sew, you're going to want to make sure that you are sewing right there, okay? So you can see you're going to sew in the black right here. And on this one, you're going to sew right on the line there. And then you're just going to come right straight down. And you'll almost go through the point here at the bottom if you've sewn together really well. And if it doesn't go right through the bottom there and it's a little on the side or one side, that's okay too. Don't worry about it. But you're going to sew through it. When you do that, that's when you're going to have these sharp points that you can see here, all the way to the black. If I had to err one direction or the other, I would go more into the black than I'm not try to get any of the color, because you're going to cut off your tips. And so when you get that and you get done with this, then you're going to take your ruler, line it up with this, and then you can just cut this off. You're going to swing around to the bottom and do the same thing. Just line this up with it. And cut that off. And that side is done. Okay? And then if I sew this one, then you're going to be able to do that. These ones are the only ones, these strips here, you're just going to press them to the dark side. And when you sew them together, you can choose to press to one side or the other. So it does that. So come back up here with me. This is a little tricky trying to do this on your own. It's not going to want to stay. I'm not sure what I did here. I might just have to hold that. There we go. Okay, so when you get done, then you can do a layout. You can lay this out. Of course, I don't have all my blue blocks, so I would do that a little bit differently. But she gives you a layout here in the book for her recommended layouts for this is a lap quilt, this is a twin, this is a king and queen, and this is a baby quilt, okay? You'll notice that these ones have peaks here, and we'll show you how to do the binding on that one if you want to do the peaks. The quilt that I did over here just has it just has a straight binding there. So if you didn't want to have to do a binding that's like for this, just use your JAYBIRD ruler, and you're just going to cut out a large, triangle piece to go into that. It goes across there. Can you see that, how it is on this side over here? You can just, on the bottom of this, it's just a very large triangle piece. And it's just a right square triangle. So you're going to put one right square triangle here, one right square triangle there, and to put it in. You might need the super sidekick for those rulers. But it's a very fun quilt to make. I would say get it all cut out. Make sure you have, are you doing 2 blocks of lights? If you're doing 2 blocks of lights, you only need 6 of each color. If you're doing 3 blocks, you want to do 9 of each other. And then these smaller pieces that you put together, like these pieces here, if you're doing 12, if you're doing a 6 block, you need 12 of them, of each color. Black and blue, and the other blue and the other black. If you're doing 9 of them, then you need 18. So whatever size, how many of these you need, you're going to double how many of these you need. And so that made it a little bit easier for me to understand the pattern, to put it all together. But I love her instructions. She's very, like, you should go check out the Nebula quilt. You'll see how well she has expanded upon her little ruler and all the rulers that she's put together, and all the different quilts that she does. She's just amazing to do it that way. But this is a really fun quilt. Don't forget, with this bundle, you're going to also get the pattern. Okay, so you get the pattern and the bundle. But we didn't know if you had a sidekick. If you had a sidekick, that was not something we wanted to add in. So if you don't, make sure you add in the sidekick ruler in your order for that. So thanks for joining me today with the InDe'B quilt shop. And this is our first tutorial, and hopefully it is helpful to you. Thanks so much.